Hi, I'm Olivia Wanel, and today I thought we would look at a bunch of ideas, patterns, tutorials, inspo for fall crochet projects. I have them here because I found all of them on Instagram, so there will be the creators' handles next to the reference pictures. However, I will provide direct links to the patterns and tutorials in the description down below, so do check them out. All the links will be there. Most of these patterns are free, however there will be some paid ones. I'll explicitly let you know whether they are free or not. And we'll have a look at a variety of projects. There will be accessories, home decor, amigurumis, and whatnot. And of course there will be pumpkin inspired projects, fallen leaves, acorns, all this good stuff. So let's begin with the first thing, and it's this apple granny square. It's a free pattern by Kate's Crochet Creations, and she regularly shares free granny square patterns, so I highly recommend her profile. I actually have already crocheted a pouch with two granny squares like this. You can basically do anything with granny squares. You can make a blanket, a bag, a pouch, coasters, so anything you can come up with. Then I have this little mushroom house amigurumi by Elisa's Crochet, and it's a free pattern. She also shares a bunch of free patterns. I especially like her Christmas ones, but today we are focusing only on fall. Then I found these free pumpkins by a Happy Dolls pattern. I especially like the idea of making stripy pumpkins. I have crocheted pumpkins before, but they're usually monocolored, and I think this is better for a more Halloween vibe, a bit Beetlejuice inspired. I know that in fall many people rewatch their favorite shows, their favorite movies, and for some people it's Harry Potter time. So a mandrake free pattern I thought would be fitting because it's connected to this magic wizardy world, again related to Halloween a bit, but also this pattern uses earthy tones, and earthy tones are fall for many people, including myself. Also, I know that we all kind of focus more on pumpkins when we crochet in fall. At least I did it last year, definitely, but I actually noticed this year that I'm more drawn to patterns with apples in them. Hence I'm wearing this shirt today that I also crocheted at some point. I found this apple macaroons. It's a free pattern as well, and I think these are just adorable as trinkets for your shelf or little gifts for your friends. You can also add like a long chain to one of these and use it as a bag charm. I think it would be quite cute. I think many of you would agree that Kiki's Delivery Service is an autumn vibe anime. Well, at least it is for me. And I really like this GG pouch design. I think a black cat design is very fitting for fall because Sabrina the Little Witch also had a black cat named Salem. By the way, fun fact, my sister's black cat is named Salem. I assume it's the most common black cat name. A pouch like this would be nice. Then I have saved a bunch of mushroom patterns overall, and I really like these tiny mushrooms by the creator that I featured before. I'm avoiding saying their name because I know I'll butcher it. Either way, I really like these tiny canterelles. I think they are adorable. And here you can also get creative. Again, it can be just a trinket for your shelf, it can be a bag charm, you can maybe even make tiny earrings or crochet a choker and then put it as a pendant. Basically, you can do whatever you want with it. They are super fast to make. It's also a great leftover yarn stash buster, I think. It doesn't necessarily need to be a very realistic looking mushroom. They can be magic mushrooms, and then you can use any colors, not necessarily true to what you would see in the wild. But of course, what would this list be without a pumpkin pattern? As I said, I have several, but this really caught my eye because it uses basically granny squares, I believe, and it creates quite an interesting texture, and you can get creative with the color palettes here. You can go with some bright color combos or more pastel, if that fits your interior better. And you also have control over the size of the pumpkin. I think it's quite easy to figure out how big it will be. For example, you can make even a cushion or a pin cushion if you want to make a tiny pumpkin. Then I have this free crochet apple pattern. That's intended to be a keychain. You can also use it as a 3D applique on any of your projects. Then I have this no-sew mini mushroom. I know that for many crocheters, sewing is the bane of their existence. I also don't really enjoy sewing my projects together, so it was nice to find a mushroom that doesn't require that. I, however, personally don't use bulky yarn basically at all, but I think you can do it in any yarn. In this case, it will just be smaller or bigger depending on what kind of yarn and size of the hook you use. I think it's a very versatile pattern in this sense. Then I found this paid pattern. It's the Daisy Messenger bag, and you might think that daisies are more of a summer kind of style, and I agree. However, you are free to make a sunflower version by just changing the colors of the petals to yellow and the center to brown. I think one of their testers actually made this color combo. Yes, here it is. So you can just copy that, and it will be very fitting for fall. Overall, I think messenger bags are very fall-like because they fit the whole academia aesthetic. So it's a nice bag design to try in the fall specifically. Another paid pattern, but it's so cute. It's this pumpkin book sleeve. I really like the design of it. I think it would turn basically any book into a fall read, so why not? I also really like the color combo here. I know that it's a classic black and orange, but I very often forget about it because I'm so focused on the earthy tones for autumn. Another paid pattern, this time by my amigurumi farm, and it's a tiny chestnut, but it's so adorable, and they have a whole collection of fall patterns. Most of them are paid. However, I found a pumpkin spice latte on their website, and I think there is also a coffee mug. So if you really like this small amigurumi style, I highly recommend my amigurumi farm. They have a bunch of free patterns, but their paid patterns are not even that expensive, so I highly recommend. They are very well written. The next project is a wearable. It's a spider web top by Wonder Netting, and I am working on it kinda in the background. I started it some time ago, but then I switched to another project as it happens. But I think it's a very nice design. It doesn't work up as quickly as I would have hoped, hence I switched, but Wonder Netting has a free tutorial on her YouTube channel. I usually prefer reading patterns because then I can go at my own pace, and I'm quite good at reading patterns, if I say so myself. So following the tutorial is not really my cup of tea, but if it's yours, the link is down below. Then I found this very quick and easy tiny pumpkin applique. Again, you can put it on anything, on a book sleeve, on a granny square, on your wearables. You can turn it into a brooch. You can attach it to a pin for your hair. The possibilities are endless, so it's a good pattern to have on hand for this season. Autumn is the perfect time for warm drinks, so coasters are something that you probably will find handy. So I found this Autumn Glory Leaves coaster pattern. It's a paid pattern, but it's very pretty. It's quite unique, I'd say. And I haven't tried it yet, but I think I'm going to, because I do enjoy using coasters and matching them to the current season. I have a soft spot for buntings. I used to always make some with paper, now I crochet them, and this mini pumpkin bunting is very cute. If you are not into buntings or you simply have no space to put one, you can use this pattern as coasters as well. Back to apples. This free apple pouch design is adorable. I haven't made it because I chose to make an acorn bag, which is a similar shape to this. I had to use Mod Podge for it to hold its shape. I don't know how it works with this one. Maybe if you make it tight and small enough, it will, not mush against your body too much. But it looks very cute, and I think it would look great in pictures if you go, for example, apple picking. Then I found these adorable mushrooms, and here I like the color palette quite a bit. As I said, you can experiment with colors. I often forget to do it myself. I just do quite realistic color combinations. Here she clearly matched her interior with this. And mushrooms like this are good to put in little baskets or little crates and just put them around your house. You can also make a bag charm or a bunting by connecting them with a string. Basically, the possibilities are endless, and these are so cute and adorable. This no-sew pocket frog is the cutest, and I have made one, and I use it as a pin cushion for all of my needles. It's a quick pattern. I remember it took me a while because it was one of the first patterns that I made. Otherwise, it's small, it's cute, it's very fast, so you can also give it out as little presents for your friends. This free acorn pattern can come in handy, again, to make a variety of projects, like a bunting, a bag charm, just a little thing to put somewhere. Here I like the shape of it. I think it looks quite realistic, so I highly recommend this pattern. It's also very easy. If you've been crocheting for a while, you probably have seen this bag pattern, but I had to include it. I am yet to make one because I just can't put myself to making the same kind of granny square and again. But yes, this Elena bag, which reminds many people of Tangled, especially with the sun granny square. I think it's very cute, and if you go with this dark version of it, then it's very fitting for the season. I think it would also look very good with dark green, and then it's a very nice companion for hiking in the forest, for example. Why make just a pumpkin or just a frog when you can make a pumpkin frog, right? So this free pattern would be perfect for those who love both. And it's cute. However, it's not the easiest from what I can say, because it does require some shaping. So if you don't want to do any extra steps beyond crocheting, it might not be for you. But if you're fine with a little bit of a challenge, then I think this pattern could be very, very fun for some fall night with a cozy movie on. If you are planning on crocheting something for Halloween, now is the time, because time flies, and this ghost amigurumi by the Caffeinated Snail is the cutest. Overall, I highly recommend the Caffeinated Snail's profile because she posts free patterns very regularly. She's my go-to girl if I want to crochet a coaster, something quick and easy. All her patterns are beginner friendly, I'd say, so do check her out. Then I found these autumn leaves in case you want to add them to some of your projects. They would look cute on a bag or on some wearable that you just crocheted. Basically add them to anything and it's instantly autumn. So here you go. I also found this pumpkin doll amigurumi, and I think it's very cute. I especially like that it's wearing this little outfit. Kind of reminds me of Over the Garden Wall. There is a free tutorial on YouTube, so the link is in the description. I don't think there is a written pattern though, but if there is, I will also link it down below. Kind of continuing with the pumpkin, guys, there is this one by Kids Knits, and I think it's super cute. It looks so cool. I just can also imagine how much work it is. It's a paid pattern, but you can kind of see what you're paying for. It's very well designed. I really like the proportions, and I like how customizable it is. Another garland with acorns and pumpkins this time. You can, of course, not connect them and just use as is, but I think it's an adorable little bunting to put on your craft shelf. To continue the topic of acorns, here is an acorn bag charm. Cute. easy, and you will get to use the puff stitch. So if you haven't before, it's very easy and it creates this fun texture. So it's a good project to try this puff stitch for the first time, and if you're a seasoned crocheter, then it will just be a breeze for you. Another free acorn pattern, but this time with a leaf. I made some of this and I actually use them as ornaments for my Christmas tree. Just, another idea of how to use this kind of tiny amigurumis. This Halloween mini bundle by Hooked on Candy is everything you need for Halloween decor, basically. It's a paid pattern, but it includes many different designs, and they all are adorable. I especially like the little potion bottle. I think you can get them individually too. I will let you know in text. If you know how to read visual graphs and schemes for crocheting, then this pattern is for you. It's a triangle, like a pyramid tea bag. I think it's super cute. I sadly have not learned how to read the graphs yet. Once I do, I will try this one. If you want to go all in on mushrooms, I recommend this mushroom headband pattern. It's a paid pattern, but it's super adorable, and I would definitely try it. I just haven't had the time. Here's a free frog pattern in adorable overalls. Kind of reminds me of the Toad and the Frog. So it would be very cute to crochet one and turn into a bag charm. Just put it on a shelf or carry with you in the pocket. It's quite small, but also it's customizable when it comes to the size. Just size up the hook and take bulkier yarn, and there you have it, a bigger frog. I thought this bobble stitch pumpkin would be quite cute. I can see that the holes between the bobble stitch rows are a bit big, so be mindful of that with the filling. Maybe you want to color your filling if you would prefer it not to show through. But I like the texture of the pumpkin. It's something new, something fresh, I'd say. And I like crocheting projects like this because yes, it's the same thing over and over again, but you learn it quite quickly and it's still varied enough for you not to get bored. Another pattern that is great if you have a bunch of leftover yarn in different colors is this, I would say, garland, because it's a bunch of different flower patterns connected to the stick. So it's kind of like a tapestry. Well, it's wall decor either way. And I think it would be quite fun to make because you can experiment with colors, with shapes. You can also just win it. You don't necessarily need to follow the pattern, even though the pattern is free, and make it fully yours. I think for fall it would look good with little sunflowers. You can also use some of the previous patterns I referenced and attach some acorns or little pumpkins to a chain and then hang them to the stick, and there you have it, your fall wall decor. This bag design is good for any time of the year. I am dreaming of making a knot bag one day. I just know that it's a commitment and I'm more drawn to smaller projects, but I really like the look of it. And here it's just up to you which colors you will use. To make it fall, I guess you would just go for warm colors or for earthy tones. You can also customize it with a bag charm or an applique from the patterns that I mentioned before. Here are the apple coasters by the Caffeinated Snail, and I have them in front of me, so I'll show them to you. I crocheted two. I think they're super cute. You can also crochet one in green or yellow, and then you can have a set of apples in different colors. I think you can also, of course, make a little pouch by connecting two apples. You would just then move the leaf to the other side for the second apple, and yeah, then you just, stitch it together, add a chain for a strap, and then you can have it like a little pouch attached to your belt, for example. I really like the shape of it. I like that it's not round, but rather a bit square, because this is how I tend to draw apples myself. So it's very fitting for my personal style. This messenger bag is everything. I just need to sit down and make it. It's a video tutorial, so it will take some time for me to brace myself. As I have mentioned, I prefer reading patterns. However, it's so cute. And as I said, messenger bags are very good for eclectic style. You then just use certain colors for that. And for academia, you then go probably with browns. I came across this free Hello Kitty pumpkin pattern. I think it's cute. It's not necessarily my thing. I don't make that many amigurumis because I don't have enough space to display them. But if it's your thing, I think it's super cute, and it would make for a great gift for someone who likes Sanrio characters. Another paid pattern and another coaster, but it's super cute. I like how creative it is with the puff stitch, and you could customize it by making the pumpkins different colors. I really like the squiggly things that you attach to them. Super cute. If you're looking for a more ornate kind of coaster, then these leaf coasters are perfect. They are free, they are very interesting. I think they would be great for something like Thanksgiving, for example. And you can also experiment with colors here. If you're looking for a fun stitch for your next bag, blanket, any project really, then this crochet pumpkin stitch is super cute. There is a YouTube tutorial for it, and if you prefer written instructions, then you can get them on Etsy. I personally think this stitch would be great for a bookcase, but of course you're free to make whatever with it. I think this is the first crochet related post I've ever saved on my Instagram profile. This is this Kiki amigurumi. I had fur yarn for it, but then I never ended up making it. I ended up making a bag, so I need to get it again in order to make it, but I think it's super cute. Overall, I recommend Once Upon a Cheerio. She has many free patterns, and some of her patterns you maybe even know. For example, a headphone sprout one that went viral some time ago. So yeah, her patterns are great, and I think they mostly are beginner friendly. If you prefer video tutorials, then these fruit pouches are perfect for you. And for fall, I guess you would make then an apple or a pumpkin inspired one. It's a very versatile pattern, very easy to customize. Once you get the hang of it, you can basically make them in any color and then stitch on different details to make them look like a certain fruit. Little Forest Makes has a bunch of paid patterns with different forest guys. For example, this acorn sprout guy, they have a pumpkin one, they have many different ones. I think they even have a bundle available. I really like the shape of them, like the chunky bottoms. So if it's your style, just know that they exist. I've tried this free Paddington inspired bear pattern before. It looks easier than it actually is, this bear pattern. So I wouldn't recommend it for complete beginners, but if you're like an intermediate crocheter, then I think it would be easier for you to get a hang of it. And if you want to crochet more clothes for your bear, this creator has clothes patterns available on her profile and in her shop. Another acorn pattern. This time it's more in a classic amigurumi style. It also has a leaf attached to its hat. You can of course always make several and turn them into a bunting, and maybe in between the acorns put the leaves from this pattern. If you're looking for a big project that would take you the entire fall, I don't know how fast you are, I'm rather slow at crocheting, so it probably would take me the whole season, then I found this Gertrude Ghost pullover. It's a paid pattern in a tapestry style. It looks very good, and I would definitely wear this now to find the time and the strength to pull it off. If you have any baby showers or baptizings planned this fall, then this mushroom baby rattle might be a nice gift. It's a free pattern, it's cute. You can also, of course, not put the rattle inside, and then it's just a mushroom amigurumi that you can use for your other projects. Just make sure to sew everything well together, because babies are stronger than you think. This pumpkin applique bunting stole my heart, and I made one for myself. It's by Elisa's Crochet, and I really liked the colors that she used. I ended up using different colors because I wanted mine to be made with wool yarn, and those are the colors that I had, but I really like this pop of turquoise in hers. Then the acorn pouch I mentioned before by the Caffeinated Snail. It's very cute. It took me some time to make it because it's quite a few rows, but it's a fun pattern to make. However, I remind you that I had to use Mod Podge. I diluted like 1 part of Mod Podge, 1 part of water, and then I covered the pouch with this mixture of 1 part Mod Podge, 1 part of water. And then it had to dry for a while, but once it did, it now holds the shape pretty well. Otherwise, at least for me, with my tension, with my kind of yarn, the pouch was too soft, and then it would not hold shape and look as great because the cap would stay around, but the acorn itself would mush against my body. And finally, this little treat of a pumpkin man. It's a free pattern by Elisa's Crochet that has this adorable overalls, and I really like its doll-like shape. You can make several, and then you have a pumpkin family. For example, a couple with bigger heads and one with a smaller hook size, and then it's their baby. I don't know why, but it's just something that popped into my head when I looked at this design specifically. And there you have it, 50 plus designs and ideas to try this fall. Let me know in the comments which ones you end up making, or which ones you know you're not going to make because they're not your cup of tea. In my next video, I will show you which projects I ended up doing myself, plus some other craft ideas for fall. So make sure to subscribe not to miss my next video, and I'll see you next week when we'll do something cozy together. Take care!